Good morning, PotCoins. Today is Sunday, 21 September 2014. We are currently on block 440266 of the Pot chain. Here's what's been going on this week. Will trim for PotCoin. This is the best campaign on PotFunder so far. Not to downplay the importance of CBD research or Fragile X syndrome, but as far as adoption of PotCoin goes, this is the one. Awesome looking t-shirts will be given out to trimmers in Northern California to wear while cutting crops. Getting the message out that people will work for PotCoin doing much needed pot related services. And trimming is near the top of the list for needed pot services. If you've never harvested pot before, it's easy to overlook this important process. It's very tedious and time-consuming and takes a lot of patience and skill. Good trimmers are hard to find, and if they will be willing to work for PotCoin, it'll give growers a very good reason to accept PotCoin. If growers accept PotCoins, dispensaries will be much more likely to accept PotCoins. This is one of the breakthroughs that will decrease the need for fiat in the cannabis economy. Even though trimmers will be wearing these shirts, it's unlikely they'll be compensated in PotCoin, at least for this harvest. And I don't think they would want 100% compensation in PotCoin, but it will be planting the seeds for the next harvest. And growers will have time to think about accepting PotCoin in the meantime. Just like growing a plant, you don't drop a seed in the dirt and have bud instantly. You take care of it for the necessary amount of time, and when it's ready, you reap the rewards. Go forth and plant the seeds of PotCoin. PotCoins are not welcome in China. Robert Gonzalez was scheduled to speak at the 2014 Bitcoin Expo in China, but almost at the last minute, event organizers informed him that Chinese officials would not let him speak about cannabis in any way, and that he was being removed from the list of speakers. This was not a decision made by the event organizers, it came from Chinese officials, and the organizers of the event are planning more events in more countries, most of which will be more pot-friendly. PotFunder will be contacting donors of the campaign to offer a full refund or to contribute their donations to other campaigns. I donated to that campaign, and I'll opt to put my donation into the Will Trim for PotCoin campaign. Also going on in the world of PotCoin is the developer Google Hangout. As far as I know, there is no other cryptocurrency that is showing this level of commitment from the developers to the community. Anyone can watch and ask questions in real time, or just catch it later on YouTube. This week they had Nick from the main team, Phil from PotBets, Dean from the forums, Bobby from High on PotCoin, and Simon from Coin Gateways. Overall, it was a good spread of people from English-speaking countries. These hangouts are a clear demonstration that PotCoin isn't going to disappear overnight and die off, as has happened to so many other cryptos already this year. Everything that comes from the PotCoin developers and the community keeps on saying PotCoin is here to stay. One more side note, the PotCoin Twitter passed 4,200 followers this week. It just keeps growing like a weed. Words are a new controlled substance. Missouri is screwing up more and more. Crystal Greyhorse was suspended from her school indefinitely because a personal notebook was found, and in it she wrote something about pot. The suspension was for possession of a controlled substance, and that substance was written words. Tom Greyhorse, her dad, is pissed, and for good reason. His daughter did not have pot on her, but is being charged as if she did, just for having written about it under the school's zero tolerance policy. Tom was quoted saying, "It was a personal notebook. It wasn't a school notebook she had to turn in. She didn't write anything about being in Al-Qaeda. She didn't write about giving it to anybody else. So why did she receive such a harsh punishment?" School officials argue that Greyhorse doesn't know the full story. However, they refuse to inform him of the details. It sounds fairly similar to the way authorities dealt with the information surrounding the Mike Brown shooting. It's my opinion that for justice to be served, anyone involved in the decision to suspend this girl from school indefinitely or in support of the decision needs to be put in prison to prevent them from harming any more children in the future. Losing their job or paying a fine isn't enough. Horrible evils like this need to be punished accordingly. They have potentially ruined this girl's future, and we should not let any of these school officials ruin any more lives. On the other side of the world, Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott supports medical cannabis. This past week, Prime Minister Abbott announced on a radio show that he supports New South Wales legalizing medical use. He said, "I have no problem with the medical use of cannabis, just as I have no problem with the medical use of opiates. I was under the impression that the personal use of cannabis was no longer an offense in New South Wales. If a drug is needed for a valid medicinal purpose and is being administered safely, there should be no question of its legality. And if a drug is proven to be safe abroad, is needed here, it should be available. I agree that the regulation of medicines is a thicket of complexity, bureaucracy, and corporate and institutional self-interest. My basic contention is that something that is found to be safe in a reliable jurisdiction shouldn't need to be tested again here." But there is pushback. New South Wales Health Minister David Davis has said he won't allow for raw cannabis to be dispensed or grown. Instead, Australians would have to use pharmaceutically derived medicines like Sativex. How many times are we going to have to hear the same story before we realize what's going on? Safe and affordable medication that can be grown at home only benefits the people who need it. How can that ever be legal when it doesn't benefit the major drug manufacturers that have monopolies on the largest portions of the health markets? So good job, Prime Minister Abbott, and screw you to the health minister. The crypto markets have been more unpredictable than usual lately. Overall, the total market cap for all coins is down to 5.9 billion from 7 billion. Bitcoins are down quite a bit this week, dropping to the low 400s, but DOGE coins are way up, along with Peercoin, Darkcoin, and a few others. Litecoins are fairly stable, only taking a minor dip. PotCoins have remained fairly stable too, bouncing around the 800 Satoshi range. And Cannabis Coin seems to have finished its pump period and looks to be entering the dump phase. Cannabis Coin has been playing leapfrog with PotCoin, trading places back and forth for the last few weeks. I hope that Cannabis Coin can survive. I think there is room in the cannabis industry for more than one crypto, and having more than one promotes competition and speeds innovation and adoption. But they may suffer the same fate as Hempcoin, Canacoin, and Dopecoin, all of which seem to have lost support from their respective communities and developers. This might be a good time to buy up some cheap cryptos, or it might be your last chance to cash out into fiat before the floor falls out completely. I'm continuing to hold my Bitcoins, Litecoins, and PotCoins for now, and I took this opportunity to dump my Peercoins for Bitcoin and trade those for more PotCoin. I'm not recommending anyone do anything that I've done. Decide for yourself and understand the risk involved. I still think the biggest barrier to crypto adoption is that most people don't understand what money is, and they think that only fiat is money. So almost everyone is currently using cryptos as a middleman for fiat. If no one accepts that cryptos are money, heavy sell pressure will continue, miners will barely break even or take a loss, and most investors will take a loss. But if people accept that cryptos are money, we can begin the move to a free trade global economy. This week's Business of the Week is potbets.com, spelled with a Z. Potbets launched about 2 weeks ago, and I finally got around to checking it out. The site is super simple. I registered and deposited a few PotCoins, and then I placed a bet on a UFC fight. Again, it was all super simple. The minimum bet is 100 pot, which is right around 35 cents. So even if you lose, you don't have to lose much. Their main thing is soccer, otherwise known as non-American football, and they have UFC too. It would be nice to see them expand to more sports like American football or including Olympic events, but they have plenty of time till the next Olympics. The original Reddit post reported that NFL, NBA, NASCAR, and tennis will be coming soon. Go check out potbets.com if you haven't already. Gamble a few pot coins and have more fun watching soccer or UFC knowing that you have a few pot coins riding on it. That's it for this edition of Mad Pot Coins. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Don't worry, nothing is fucked. Check out the Bit Lebowski from Mad Bitcoins for more info.
No, man. Nothing is fucked here.
Nothing is fucked?